Hi there, Shauna here. So welcome to episode 15. Imagine that I would get the episode numbers right for a change. Episode 15 of our Healing at Last podcast. And as usual, this week it is just me and you. So I would just like to set the scene for you. Where I am is I'm in the office. You can probably hear in the background the pitter patter of a little dog who is just pottering around and trying to find a nice and easy, gentle place to rest. And as I begin this podcast, I am acutely aware of the title. And I'm acutely aware of how startling that title can be and how upsetting it may be to some people. So I welcome you here. If you've seen that title and you've thought, I'm going to listen to this and see what it has to offer, even though you might have been triggered by it, even though you might be annoyed by it, even though you might be upset by it, welcome. Let me begin by breaking that title down. It is slightly harsh, but let me begin by breaking it down. So your mother is a narcissist. So what? Now what? So let me help you understand why that title is here and why it's the title for this particular podcast. If we understand that title, so your mother is a narcissist, and that is why you feel not enough. That is why you feel worthless. That is why you feel empty. That is why you have difficulty in relationship. That is why you have an insecure attachment. That is why. That is not to belittle that. That is not to belittle the experience of that, which is deeply traumatic and deeply difficult. But it is to ask the extension question, what next? Because when we ask the why question, why do I feel the way I do? Then it takes us to those places. It takes us to the places where this emotion was created, where this difficulty in us was created. It takes us to the people, to the places, to the experiences in which we have had these difficult experiences. Now, that is not a problem, but it is also not healing. It's also not curative. The why question is the beginning of the journey. It's not the healing of the journey. It's not the end of the journey. It's not the healing place. The why question is just the tip of the iceberg. So my mother was a narcissist, and this is how she interacted. This is how she was. This is how I felt as a result of that. Now, there is the gold dust. My mother was a narcissist, so what? What did that do to me? What did that do to my internals? What happened within me as a result of her narcissism? What happened inside me? What happened to the patterns that I created in me? What happened inside me as a result of her lack of connection, as a result of her withdrawal of love, as a result of her overriding expectations, as a result of her using me to whatever that looked like? And that is such an important concept here. When we understand the why, we understand the context for the problem. We understand the context for the issues that we hold. But that's not enough to heal. That's not enough to transform. That's not enough to alchemize. Because what happens is we sit at what we call in the clear method a shelf of understanding. We sit at that level, and sometimes paralyzed by the knowledge, as if the knowledge of her narcissism or his narcissism or whatever it is that has created this pain or whatever it is that has created this problem is enough to transform it. It is not. And I see time and time and time again across social media, and it drives me bananas. I think I use this podcast to talk about what drives me bananas, actually, now that I'm thinking. But anyway, it drives me bananas when I look at other social media posts especially from a psychology place. And it's all about the diagnosis. It's all about the labeling. It's all about the identifying of the why. And then it stops there. And then you're in a cul-de-sac ruminating on the why. You're ruminating on the mother. You're ruminating on the father. You're ruminating on the difficulty. Not to say that it's not helpful, but it's a cul-de-sac. It's the beginning of the journey and not the end of the journey. Again, it's the contextual understanding of it. But the better question is the what question. And the what question is, I understand why, but now I want to understand what happened within me as a result of this why. What happens inside my mind? What happens inside my body? What happens in my nervous system? What happens to the thoughts that I think and the feelings that I have and the patterns that I have evolved into as a result? Because that what leads us into a deeper understanding of ourselves, leads us into the next shelf of awareness. Because when we move into the next shelf or the next level of awareness, then we can begin to understand us. Now, there's where our power lies. What happened within me? What happened to this not enoughness? What happened to the pain of the rejection? What happens inside me? And when I can sit long enough in the not enoughness, now I'm not focused on her. Now I'm not focused on her behaviors. Now I'm not focused on her story. Now I'm disconnected from that is all about her, all about the why. Now I'm in the feeling of feelings, multiple possibly, that have been created as a result. Now I'm in the beginning of alchemy. This is the first shelf of awareness. The second shelf of awareness underneath that is what might be underneath the not enoughness. What might be underneath that? Might it look like worthlessness? Now we're in a deeper understanding of what this experience was. And then again, is there another shelf of awareness underneath that? Do you see the difference of being connected to the story? Not that the story is not important, not that it didn't happen, not that it isn't relevant, it absolutely is. But to be stuck there, stuck in the labeling of that, stuck in the identification of that, stuck in the diagnosis of that, to be stuck in the why of that is to be stuck. It is to cul-de-sac ourselves and to constant perpetual knowledge and understanding and analysis. But when we do this moving away from that story towards our inner world in relation to what has happened, what has this done to me, then we can reach these shelves of awareness that go deeper and deeper and deeper. Now, why is the shelves of awareness important in the what has this done to me? Because it opens us up to true healing. It opens us up and gives us the capacity to really begin to heal, understand yourself in relation to what happened to you, in relation to what's happening inside you as a result of what happened to you. Break down and break through those awareness levels to get the root cause, to get to transform, to get to alchemize. It's only through the understanding of self can we begin to alchemize, not in the understanding of another, not in the diagnosis of another, not in the knowledge of another or knowledge of the story, only in the knowledge of self. Only in these levels of awareness that we bring to ourselves can we be free from that we were born into, that we've experienced, that we've seen, that we've been traumatized from. So the invite is not to get locked in the why do I feel this way, because that leads us out. The invite is to ask yourself, what did I feel as a result of my why? And follow the invite in towards yourself, because there is where true alchemy is. Good luck. I hope this was helpful to you today. It is my intention that it will lead you to a deeper place in yourself. It will lead you to a deeper understanding of what it is to be, and move away from the story, and move away from the diagnosis, and move away from the why and into the what. Now, the journey in there can be quite difficult, and I get that, but it is an invite. And this is something that we work at, and something that I teach: the why and the what, the shelves of awareness, the moving through these shelves of awareness is something that I teach inside our emotional mastery skills programs for professional therapists and counselors. If that feels like a fit for you, the links are in this podcast somewhere. We begin our next cohort in July, so not too far away. So if you'd like to understand more about the why and the what, if you'd like to understand more about the shelves of awareness and how we can allow ourselves and our clients to deepen beyond that is presented, to deepen beyond those stories, to deepen beyond the diagnosis of the presentation issues, then I invite you to join us in the EM Skills program. All the links are below. So good luck with that. I would love to see you on the inside. If you have any questions, just email us. The link is below for that as well, if you have any questions about that. And I hope that this tiny snippet of a podcast finds you well today. Take care.